Hello everyone, this is Smoothan Raghavan. Today we are going to see Go channels inside the Go language. So what are channels and why do we require channels? In general, channels are along used with, let's say, the Go routines. Already we have seen what is Go routine and how can we create the Go routines by using the normal functions in previous video. In simple words, you can create the any function as a Go routine just adding the prefix Go when you call that function. So this is the way you will create the Go routines. So that means that Go routines will create the asynchronous process so that you can continue with your execution. So that's what so far we have seen in the previous video. In this video, how can we communicate with one Go routine with another Go routine? So that means that generally Go routines are communicating with each other by using the channels. So channel means it's just like a pipeline between the two Go routines so that one Go routine can interact with the another Go routine. So how can we create the Go channels and how can we make one channel to interact with the other channel? In simple words, how can we make one Go routine to send a message to the another Go routine so that another Go routine will act like a receiver? So this is very basic about the Go routines and Go channels in this video we are going to see. First one will go to the diagram. So whatever we have seen so far, the pictorial representation is being shown here. So that means that let's say you have two Go routines. If a Go routine is sending some messages, then in that case, it will be called as a sender and it will send some messages. And in other end, the another Go routine will be receiving the message. The same way, the same Go routine can be again sending back the another message to the original Go routine. So even the original Go routine will be acting like a receiver. In that case, it will be getting the message from the Go routine too. But in order to make this communication between the Go routines, we need to make the channel and we need to send the channel to the Go routines. So that means that whenever you are calling Go routine or whenever you are making the Go routine, you need to pass the argument as the channel to the Go routine so that you can send a message or receive a message. In coding point of view, how do we do that same thing? We will see in the coding session. So as usual, we will be seeing the package main and we will be seeing the normal import statements. For printing, we will be having the FMT package, and for the timing, we will be having the time package. So this is a general description about the Go channels. In Go channels are used to communicate between the Go routines using the channel operator, angle bracket, and then hyphen symbol. The angle bracket in the sense it will be only the, let's say, left hand angle bracket. This is the only angle bracket that you can use it for the channel operator. You cannot use the other angle bracket. And Go routines can be created just adding the prefix Go while calling the function that we have seen in the previous video in case how to create the Go routines. And channels will be sending as an argument to the Go routine so that it can receive or send the messages or send the data between the Go routines. Now we will start with the main function, which will be initially called. Then after we will be having the print statement, hello Go learners, okay, fine. And we can create the channel by using the make method like our normal slices and arrays. But however, you can create the same channel by using the var keyword, but it will be creating the nil channel. In maximum times, you will not be using the nil channel. But there are a few cases that you can use the nil channel for some specific purpose. But in general, you will be using the make method to create the channel. So the make method parenthesis, and you will be using the keyword called chan, which will be representing the channel. And you will be mentioning the type of data that you are going to send inside the channel. So that means that whenever you create the channel, you need to mention what kind of data is going to flow inside your channel so that it will create the channel. So in our case, we are creating channel and we are mentioning that we are going to send the data type of string. And we are just giving the name my channel by using the shorthand notation. So in this way, we are creating the channel and we have the channel variable my channel. And then after we'll be just jumping to the Go center method. So that means that by seeing the prefix Go and by seeing the function, you can clearly identify this is the Go routine. So that means that this will be acting like a Go routine, but however, what is the implementation for the center method? You can come below at the line number 25. So as we discussed earlier, we will be having the input or argument as the channel to the method whenever you are going to use that method as a Go routine. Then once you get the channel, you can either use just to receive the data or just to send the data, or you can do the both as well. In simple words, in the center function, we are going to send some data. So that means that already we have discussed we can use only the angle bracket on left hand side. So that means that we can use only this angle bracket. So by seeing this arrow symbol, you can clearly identify the data is going to flow from your right hand side to the left hand side. Now, since you are planning to send some data, channel should be on your left-hand side, and the data what you are going to send, that will be on your right-hand side. So this is the way we will be sending the data to the channel. Now the channel will be having your awesome string value, and it matches the string type for the channel as well. Because when we create the channel, we mentioned the data which is going to flow inside your channel will be the type of string. Now we have the string data and we are passing to the channel. And after that receiver function, so receiver function also having the argument as channel. But in this case, we will be using the same angle bracket, but in this case, data is going to received from the channel, so that the channel will be on your right hand side, and the data where it has to store. In our example, we are going to store into, say, the variable. So the variable name is temp, so that's why it is on your left hand side. So now you can see the both notation. We have the shortened notation as well as the angle bracket. So angle bracket is necessary, or the, let's say, channel operator, or let's say the angle bracket. In both way you can call it. So that will be necessary because we are working with the channels. And shortened notation is required because we are going to save it into the variable. Okay, we have retrieved the data from the channel and we have saved into the temp. Then after, we are going to print that same variable so that we can see what is the data inside that. Okay, let's see. And now we'll go back to the channel. So 18 line number. So go center, and I am just passing the channel. And inside that, I am just passing the value to the channel. Okay, fine. Then after, the another function, since we have mentioned the go prefix, and since these are the go routines, it will be called asynchronously. You don't need to wait. Even though if you have some time, for example, let's say if you have some time inside your center function, it takes some time. It will not wait for that, because as soon as it triggers the center function, the new go routine will be triggered for the receiver function. So simultaneously both things are start running, and then after we are just waiting for that, because if you don't have any wait time, it will just trigger both send and receiver go routines and it will complete the function. So you may not be seeing the output from the both functions. So that's the reason we are waiting for some time, so that it will complete sender and receiver functions and you can see the different outputs. Okay, fine. Let's go to the terminal and we will see how it works. Here you can see received values. Oh, you are awesome. So that means that the sender function has been called and the data has been sent to the channel, and after that you are receiving the value because the receiver function has been called here, and the data has been extracted to the variable called temp and it has been printed here. If you don't mention the, let's say, time.sleep, let's say I'm just commenting out, and if I run this one, it will trigger both functions or both go routines, then it will suddenly exit. So that means that we have only the print statement from the line number 12, and after that it triggers both functions and there is no statement after that, it will complete. It will not wait for the other functions or other go routines to be completed because it is the asynchronous process. So let's say after, let's say receiver function has been sent and after that we have printed that value. Again, if you want to see some channel value, then it will be not there because this will be sending as a, let's say, with pointer. That means that you are just sending the address reference. Okay, in simple words, we have understand what is channel, and in simple words, the channel will be used only along with the go routines. We can create the go routines by just adding the go as a prefix inside of the function call. When you are going to use as a channel, then you need to send the channel as the argument to your function call. So this is all about the go routines and go channels in basics. So thanks for watching and have a great day.